cute, my little Hasanito. Oh my God! Everyone keeps ripping the fucking the National Review. Okay, I know, dude. I know, chat. Please stop. Please, I know. I know the guy said the N-word. I know. This guy won't shut the fuck up about Javion McGee being lynched. Stop. Okay? Stop. Everybody, stop. I am not going to cover what you want me to cover right now. Okay? I am going to cover what I want to cover right now. Please. Everybody fucking calm down. Okay? What is going on today? Am I crazy? Or is chat just like extra wild today? What's happening? Maybe I'm the one who's hyper focusing on chatters. Maybe it's not as overwhelming, but it certainly feels as though it is overwhelming today for some weird reason. Everybody calm down. We're going to get to everything. Okay? You have the zoomies right now. You're behaving like Kaya when she gets riled up. And to all of you, I say place. Okay? So you calm the fuck down. Stop winding up the dog. She's passed the fuck out.
Finally, he said something to the effect of, look, if we have to create stories in order to bring attention to what's happening, the media, he admits they made it up, right? As opposed to, and if you listen to the full clip, he says, by drawing attention to what's happening on the ground, it's just, as this like line goes online, you don't hate the media enough. Go ahead.
You remember Alternative Facts with Kellyanne? They did the same thing. She wasn't saying you make up fictions and pretend they're facts. You bring other facts to bear in the debate that are being ignored. And that's what he was saying. And I think it was in that interview where Dana Bash says, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese.
Okay, I get why people were trying to get me to watch this clip. That oh my God. Oh my God. That was that. Bro, run it back. Okay, guys. He just says the N-word. He 100% says migrants, not the N-word. That was insane. Okay. No, he says the N-word. I think he says the N-word.
you bring other facts to bear in the debate that are being ignored. And that's what he was saying. And I think it was in that interview where Dana Bash says, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking.
No, he says it. Oh, no. Oh, hell nah. He says it. Normally, in a situation like this, maybe he meant immigrants. No. No. No, he says it. And he said it like that was a rapid action moment. Like he failed the QTE. You know what I mean? He just fucking went boop. It's an M. That shit, he just let it rip, dude. Slow it down to 0.5 here.
Recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrant.
I know what chatters are saying, that he misspoke. Nah, he said it. He fucking dropped that shit in there, dude.
Complain about Haitian migrants.
Bro, I have never in 32 years misspoke and said a slur. No, if you are a public speaker and you speak a lot, okay, there absolutely will be moments where you like say something that kind of sounds like a slur, okay? For sure. Like it happens all the time. It's like it was such a common thing that like LSF literally actually banned it. That's how common it is, especially if you're talking for like 8 hours a day. It's also common to say the other thing openly with your full chest when you're a gamer with a hard R. But what ended up happening in this situation, and the most charitable I can be, is that it absolutely is a thing that he says. Okay, it's absolutely a thing that he thinks. This is the National Review editor-in-chief, okay? I mean, he writes it out without saying the actual word on a regular basis. This is a right-wing publication that if we were to look at, like, here, let's look at National Review Haitian. Real scandal in Springfield, Ohio. The cats and dogs may be safe and sound, but it's not all right in like the National Review is basically saying the N-word but taking the long way to say it on a daily fucking basis. Most right-wing publications already do this. National Review is one of the worst, okay? I love that this is Rich fucking Lowry. This dude used to be a favorite on NPR as a sane Republican. Yeah. So in the most charitable way, I will say I think in the most charitable way, yes, fight anti-white racism. It should be indeed a Trump priority. Anyway, the way he let that rip, okay, why are people in the chat so quick to defer this racist, but Haitians and black people like myself are still getting villainized? It's called being white. Is whiteness. Okay? That's simply what it is. Okay? I'm telling you right now, he let that shit rip because it's something that he uses. So it's something that he has used in the past, that it is in his like normal setting. In this circumstance, he was trying to say immigrant potentially, and it just swapped out for the other thing. Okay? It's muscle memory. He had that shit locked in the chamber. Okay? People have issues with this, obviously, as a public speaker, myself, and as someone who's like live and speaking for hours at a time. There are certainly going to be moments that you can clip out of context and make it seem as though someone is saying something that they're not actually saying, something that they don't actually say. This is like a very there's a long storied past of this, okay? This I think weighs on the other side. Your tripping dog is finally too charitable. No, this is on the other side of it. This is like a guy who dropped it. A guy who fucking dropped it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. He dropped that shit. He did. Let's see how Megyn Kelly responds.
Migrants taking geese from ponds. Only 2 calls. And I think one lesson of this whole story, people don't care about geese. People really hate geese. You know, they all things considered, I think people would prefer Haitian migrants to come and take the geese off the golf course, right? So it's pets, it's the cats and dogs that's become the...
That's cool. I like that. I like that for Megyn Kelly. It's like, it's a breeze. She just breezed past that. Okay? She just breezed past that. It's not even a problem. Like, she just went, haha, yeah, okay. Just another Monday, you know? A lot of you wouldn't survive a COD lobby type beat, you know? That's it. That's what's going on here. Man. And by the way, just so you understand something here, okay? These people already say the N-word, but take the long way home while saying the N-word all the time. Okay? Like, him not saying it in this interview and saying it in this interview are completely irrelevant. Okay? But for liberals, you just hyper focus on the optics in that moment and you're like, oh, I can't believe he said it. It's like, dude, he could never say it for the rest of his life and write all the articles he writes about, like how, you know, black crime needs to be dealt with through violent means, like, or anti-white racism is happening, or BLM is a group of like uppity, that's a word that they use, people that are entitled and hate white people and want to kill white people. Like, there are so many different ways, because it's funny. I was talking to FD Signifier this morning for a lot longer than we were supposed to stream for, which is part of the reason why I was late. So big part of the conversation was around, you know, black issues, black culture, white culture in general. And and how like white people perceive race or what white privilege is. And it's really funny that for like a lot of white people, especially, like the example I always love using is Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan had phone conversations with Richard Nixon. Okay, these phone conversations were unearthed recently, like a couple of years ago, and people were shocked. Why were they shocked? They were shocked that Ronald Reagan was racist against black people. And it's like, dude, look at his fucking policies. What do you mean you're shocked that Ronald Reagan was like a massive racist? For a lot of people, they need to hear, like for a lot of white people, even white liberals in general, they need to hear someone like call, African diplomats monkeys or something, which Ronald Reagan did, right? In that phone conversation, that private phone call, for them to be like, oh my God, he's racist. They have no way of analyzing like the unimaginable construct, white supremacist construct reinforcement that like white Republicans, conservatives, and even sometimes liberals engage in an effort to basically say the N-word without saying it. And white supremacy is so baked in to all of our institutions, to all of our social conditioning, that we have come up with new mechanisms and new methods of like being racist and reinforcing racist dynamics while not actually saying it, okay? It's invisible to many people who don't want to seek it out, who don't want to understand it. And I don't even fault them for not understanding it, because like it is designed to be invisible. It is designed to be quote unquote common sense. Okay? That's it. Sometimes you don't need to hear a person, especially a person who like works at the National Review, for example, to literally say the N-word to recognize that they're fucking racist as shit. Okay? That's why people will say things like DEI, CRT, Black Lives Matter, woke. These are substitutes for the same terminology or thug. These are substitutes for the same term, specifically just being adopted to reinforce the exact same cultural attitudes and stereotyping. Okay? That's it. That's simply it. Because the N-word is not some special magical word. It has a very specific design and very specific usage. That design and usage is to say black people are subhuman. Okay? To say black people are aggressive, barbaric, that they didn't belong being in. Okay? It is to undermine a black person usually and claim that they like took the place of a much better deserving white person. That's what it is. It has a lot of baggage. It's not just a nasty word. No, of course. But the difference is I'm trying to explain even the term itself and why it has a lot of baggage, or why like this term is used, right? Rich Lowry says, yep, this is exactly what happened. I began to mispronounce the word migrants and caught myself halfway through. That's it. So when we're having a conversation about Haitians eating cats and dogs and stealing geese, that conversation, if you believe that story, is already basically the same as you saying the N-word. Okay? You don't have to say the N-word for at least me or anyone who understands the situation to immediately pick up on what the fuck you're actually saying. Okay? So wake up. Anyone that entertains the story that Haitian migrants with temporary protected status in Springfield, Ohio, or anywhere they are stealing people's pets, okay, stealing people's dogs and cats to eat them, is already literally saying the N-word, but taking the long way to say it. That's it. That's it. He didn't actually have to say the N-word here for me to be like, that's a racist guy. He's saying it every day. He's saying it every day when he's not actually saying it. Okay? Anyway, just some food for thought for people that are confused by this process. Okay? Is there really anything that separates this from blood libel? No, of course not. Absolutely not. The problem is we're already there as a society. We're there. Okay? Many people are invested in this. That's the reason why it blew up as hard as it did in a lot of the right-wing circles. It's kind of sad you have to explain this. I mean, it's like 90% of my job is specifically explaining things like this, but especially this. Because, you know, it's just our culture. It is what it is. It's the unfortunate consequence of, you know, living in a white supremacist society.